these properties is what we call the change of base rule. All right, and this is what we used back in the olden day, because then you have, on your calculator, you have a button that says log, and you have a button that says ln, right? What is the base of the logarithm when it just says log? That's a base 10. What about if it's an ln? What's the base? E, right? So if I give you a question of log base 5 of 7, I can't use either one of those buttons. And I know in my fancy calculators there's a place to find it, but we got to be able to do it without that function. Don't give me, trust me, this is easier than finding that.
Yeah, but that was really easy.
except I have to tell you where it is.
Yeah, but now we know it's like 3 buttons.
Yeah, but you got to know the skill.
Why do we have to know to do it if we can just do it? Okay, my bad.
It's not that hard. So to handle this, we change the base. All right, so we're going to take whatever logarithm it is, log over log. And here's how you remember it. The base of the logarithm goes in the basement of the fraction. And then I just use my calculator to do log of 7 divided by the log of 5, and that will give me the correct answer. That's all it is. Nixon. So if I ask you to do change of base, I'm looking for this work, not just the answer. Now, you could also use natural log of 7 over the natural log of 5. Either one works. You're going to get the same answer. Fancy, huh? Okay, so what if I gave you the log of 12 of 35? How would you set that up? Nothing hard about that, is there? Okay, so the first half of your practice is just that. Finding those values, and you'll give me to 3 decimals. That's it. Now the next part of your practice are some other properties, and they help us when we get into solving equations, which we're going to be doing. You're going to have to use all these properties and shortcuts to get to an answer. So the first property is called the product rule. So if I give you a value, something like log of 3 times x, the product rule says I can expand that to be the log of 3, oops, not base 3, log of 3 plus the log of x. Why would that be helpful? Well, because sometimes when I separate it out, like this can be replaced with a number. Like some of you saw this yesterday on your quiz. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What is the log of 10,000? Was it 10,000 or 1,000? It was 10,000, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What is the log of 10,000? 10 to what power gives you 10,000? 4. So all you had to do on this was 5 plus 4. So knowing some of these, like being able to separate them out, can help make your equations a lot simpler. All right? Now, this is considered the condensed version because it's got one logarithm. This is considered the expanded version because it's multiple logarithms. All right? So, how do I remember that? Product rule plus sign. Okay? The next one is called the quotient rule. What does quotient mean? Do you remember? Division-ish, something division-like, right? So logarithm of, let's just use 3 and x for fun. 3 divided by x. The quotient rule states I can do the logarithm of 3 minus the logarithm of x. So we separate with a subtraction sign when they're divided. Easy enough? Then there's the power rule. Yes. Log of 3 to the x power. Power rule says I can move the power to the front. So it's like a coefficient. So like x times whatever the log of 3 is. Okay, why would that be helpful? Because if the log of, like if this is just the log, let's say it's the log of 10, that would just be a 1, wouldn't it? Then it's just 1 times whatever that power was, and it's easy peasy. So all these things help us when we get to solving, all these little tools. So what you're going to have to do today is expand and condense equations that have a mixture of all these things. For instance, let's say I gave you the logarithm of 5y over z. And I want you, that's the condensed version because it only has one logarithm. I want you to expand it out using these properties. So where would you start? What could you start with? Okay, so what would that look like? All right, is there anything else I can do to expand? Log of 5 plus the log of y minus the log of z. So this part expands out even more. You see it? Okay, not bad. What if it was, let's just do a natural log, the square root of x over 2y. Fractional exponent, I get behind that, yep. So she's saying change it to the 1/2 power. Then what? Minus? Can you be more specific? Yeah, a natural log of x to the 1/2 minus.
You can put
1/2 can move in the front because of power rule. Then what? Split this guy. If you do it with the plus sign, you got to put parentheses because they're both underneath the division part. So you could have also written it like this, natural log of x minus the natural log of 2 minus the natural log of x. That just indicates that both of these are underneath. Makes sense? Yeah. Got it? Do you have recollection of this from Algebra 2 days? A little bit? Casey says no. It's okay. We slept since then. All right.